Welcome back to another Lang Master Collection. My name is Amit Vadher, and today we're going to learn useful phrases which we use in everyday conversations. So let's begin with useful phrases which we use to show agreement. So let's go. I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. There is no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. I completely agree. I completely agree. That, oh shit, sorry. Sorry, my eyes went cross-eyed. Shall I stop from there? That's so true. That's so true. Absolutely. Absolutely. Great. So let's now move on to phrases to show disagreement. Is it disagreement? What is this one? It says it in Vietnamese.
This is to ask for more information.
Okay. Great. So let's now move on to useful phrases to ask for information. So let's go. Could you tell me? Could you tell me? Do you know? Do you know? I wonder if you could tell me. I wonder if you could tell me. Could you give me more information about? Could you give me more information about? Is that true if I say? Is that true if I say? What do you say if? What do you say if? Brilliant. So let's now move on to useful phrases to ask someone if they have understood. So let's go. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about? Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense? Am I making any sense? Am I making any sense? Are you following me? Are you following me? Get my drift. Get my drift? Do you see where I'm coming from? Do you see where I'm coming from? Don't you see? Don't you see? Fantastic. So let's now move on to useful phrases to change the topic. So let's go. By the way. By the way, before I forget. Before I forget, I nearly forgot. I nearly forgot. Anyway, well, as I was saying, so, back to, so, we were saying, great. So let's now move on to useful phrases to show that you partially agree with someone. So let's go. I agree up to a point, but. I agree up to a point, but. That's true, but. That's true, but you could be right. You could be right. It sounds interesting, but. It sounds interesting, but I see your point, but. I see your point, but that's partly true, but. That's partly true, but. Wonderful. So let's now move on to useful phrases to ask someone to repeat themselves. So let's go. Excuse me. Excuse me. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. Run that by me again, please. Run that by me again, please. Speak louder, please. Speak louder, please. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. I'm hard of hearing. I'm hard of hearing. Great. So let's now move on to useful phrases to show disagreement. So let's go. I totally disagree. I totally disagree. No way. No way. I'm afraid I can't agree with you. I'm afraid I can't agree with you. To be honest. To be honest. On the contrary. On the contrary, I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you. I'm sorry, but I disagree. I'm sorry, but I disagree. Great! So let's now move on to useful phrases to show that you are sorry. So let's go. Sorry. Sorry. Sorry for your loss. Sorry for your loss. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. I apologize. I apologize. Sorry for keeping you waiting. Sorry for keeping you waiting. Sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm late. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. So let's now move on to useful phrases to show someone your interest. So let's go. Oh, really? Oh, really? How interesting. How interesting. No kidding. No kidding. Oh my God. Oh my God. For God's sake. For God's sake. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Cool. Cool. Wow. Wow. Oh dear. Oh dear. for crying out loud. For crying out loud. No, somebody didn't. No, somebody didn't. Great, so let's now move on to useful vocab for rephrasing. So let's go. In other words. In other words, that means. That means, what I mean is, what I'm trying to say is, that's to say. That's to say, let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. Let me put this another way. Let me put this another way. Fantastic. So let's now move on to useful phrases to make a comment. So let's go. It seems to me that. It seems to me that, in my opinion. In my opinion, I am of the opinion that. I am of the opinion that. My personal view is that. My personal view is that. In my experience. In my experience, as far as I understand, as far as I can understand. Great, that's the end of the Langmaster collection. We just learned many useful phrases used in everyday conversation. My name is Amit Vadha, and stay tuned for the next Langmaster collection. Goodbye.